Welcome, everybody. As promised, we're streaming an hour a day. Almost didn't make it, fell asleep. Woke up though, so I'll have to eat afterwards. So, as you can see, the bench hasn't moved, not one bit. I haven't done anything at all, and still thinking about that piano though. Let's see, I gotta pull this over so I can see what's going on. All right, we got one watcher. And we want to do this. Go here. Oh, settings. Well, it'd be nice to figure this out so I can settings and profile more. Everyone starts muted, hidden. Everyone follows me. Okay. All right. So I think I got it set up straight. I'm not sure. I've got to kind of teach Rusty tonight how to set the stream up. So we're not going to do any more than an hour. There's probably not going to be any questions and answers. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, what I'm going to do here, as I told you, I got this, it's actually quilting template material. I recommend the C-Temp. But since I got this and I don't have any C-Temp, Tom Morris will use this. So as I told you last night, we're working out the cowl situation. So let's do this. We're gonna have to figure out where to cut that cowl break. Heck, I already had a piece out. No matter. Gotta find a knife to start to scribe this with. So the first thing we're gonna do try to get a scribe line on this cowl. I don't want to cut through this material though and put a spot in the plan. This will give us an idea where this cowl break goes. I hope you guys enjoyed last night. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Got 16 likes last night. And, I guess this is what you guys want to see me do, is build these more often. So I'll do some of that. So if you got a set of Tucker Special plans, you want to build a long hour a day, heck, jump on in and get them. I found a set of Tucker Special plans online at the Outer Zone. If you guys are not familiar with that, it's a plan service that you can download a PDF file, take it to your Kinko's, and have a set of plans made up. So I've got the cowl break opening. Hopefully it'll tear out of there. Not perfect, but it'll give me the lines where I can draw it on the wood, get it square. Probably don't have to do it this way. You can do the measurements. I just figured it. I had this stuff, so it doesn't quite break out as easy as the C-Temp does. All right, so throw that aside. Got our fuselage sides here. They're still glued together, but you don't want to cut both of them at the same time because you're going to lose. You know, only one side gets this strange cut in it. So we're going to put it up there. You're going to mark your doubler off this as well. Okay. All right. Now I didn't really trace that out on there because it really wasn't a really exacting pattern. So we're going to use the square to make the lines. I want to measure the exhaust port here. And make sure that we have this wide enough. Three-quarters approximately. Yeah, so we got to do it to here. Everything's squared off the datum line. That's that top line that I cut yesterday first. You want to measure everything from there. And let's see here. Let's, might as well measure down from the top line here. We got the vernier calipers, so we might as well use them. That way we know it's parallel. You know, you don't think much of this when you're starting, you know, a scratch build or whatever, but this all pays off in the end. This careful measurements of things. Sure don't look square. It is though. Okay. I can see the chat. I see we got some likes. That's good. Super chats would help. Help me keep this thing going. So, boy, I wish I had a ruler. Don't they make a ruler anymore that works correctly? Oh, I got that. I guess I could use this. Use the square. Except it won't work. There we go. There we go. Well, we muddled through it. We got it laid out anyway. All right, there is the very first cut marks. Let's split these fuselage sides apart. Because I don't want to cut, this is the inboard side. You don't want to cut both of them at the same time. You're trying to keep the fuselage sides exact except for the cowl area. Let's go ahead and cut this cowl area out. Remember, it's only wood. It make a mistake, you can always make another one. Try not to make mistakes. Pretty costly, but it's only wood. This piece of 1/8 inch was $1.36. So how long have I had it? It's a SIG piece of contest wood that was probably brought from Montezuma when we were up there at the SIG contest. They used to let us go through the factory and pick out the wood we wanted. They don't do that anymore. I don't think anybody, everybody whines about insurance and so on and so forth. I think it's because everybody's so crazy. Yeah, probably better, would be better to see over my shoulder this way. That blade seems dull. I don't want to do this. I want a nice clean cut here, so let's try this. It's always better to saw cross grain than it is to use a knife cross grain. Why does it want to break free there? There we go. All right, that's a pretty strange looking cowl, but it'll become more clear when we put it together. Let's see here. We want to sand this. These edges all get they all get lined with 64th plywood. How about the price of that stuff? That stuff has gone out of sight. course, I have paid as much as $50 for a sheet of it. They saw me coming. AutoZone has AutoZone has a picture of Art Schaefer, Gary Zeller, and Ron O'Toole. And Art, when he died, he left me a bunch of pictures. I posted them somewhere here on the forum. Not exactly sure where. This side here would be more what a cowl looks like in modern times. I'll go ahead and just saw this. Nice clean cut sawing instead of I will true these fuselage sides up after I get them laid out. This, I mean, an hour a day is not very much build time, but we're going to see how long it takes to do an hour a day. Because I always get the excuse from people, I don't have time or I don't have the space. Well, this is 1 hour a day in the closet, basically. So there are no excuses. All right, there's two fuselage sides. This is the outboard side with a straight line. This is the inboard side where the exhaust is going to come out, the muffler. So Charles was saying yesterday he doesn't understand how that works. Well, there's how it sits in there like that. The motor, the exhaust comes out that hole. And it might not be set far enough back. Probably didn't leave myself enough room. Oh well. We'll know when I get the engine bearers done. So now we're going to mark out where the formers go. That's a pretty accurate set. That's a good deal. Okay. Okay, the easy way to do this is I'm going to show you is I just put it on the plans, mark a couple of notches where the formers go, and mark them out. It's been a while since I built anybody's airplane. And what I mean by that is I don't normally work off plans. I just work out of my head. So, put the plan set or the fuselage side here. Where's my pen? Ah, boy. Makes it tough when you don't have any room to work. But as stated, there are no excuses. We got any comments? So we got 4 watchers. Hey, smash that like button. It helps the channel out. Move up in the ranking. Had 126 views on the yesterday's video so far. That's better than the Hangouts, dude. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we got a pen now. Okay. All right, so let's make some tick marks where the bulkheads go. 1, 2, all bulkheads are 1/8 inch. I'm going to build it as per plans. I'm not going to. The only thing I've changed is the cowl opening because I didn't want to do an airplane with no cowl. So this one here. We might get some pieces glued in an hour. Of course, I don't know. I don't have the motor mounts done, so they got 3/16 there. Okay. So from the plans, I've made the tick marks where the bulkheads go. Square from the datum line, make a mark. I'm sure you guys are probably bored to death. Grab yourself a set of plans from the outer zone. Go down to Kinko's, get a copy. I don't know what they'd cost, what they charge you at Kinko's to make copies anymore, but I've done that, so I know that it does work. Or you can get them from Bob Hunt, Flying Models. It's a pretty popular airplane. I'm not very entertaining. When I get off of this session here, we'll change camera views. I have to get all these parts made though, so how would you transfer from one side to the other? Well, I just put the 2 pieces together. Lay a ruler on there. Transfer the lines. Now, what I got for a fuselage jig is just a white piece of shelf material. It's masonite on one side. I'll show that when we get ready to lay this out. Then I got it at the Lowe's down the street here. I think it was about $6. So that's going to be the fuselage jig. And I do that basically like I showed you on that one video a while back on alignment. I just draw a felt tip center line down the center and use a square off of that. And that's what we're going to keep our fuselage straight with. Make some T-angle or, you know, some 90-degree balsa blocks and glue to it. So this is the makeshift way to do things when you don't have any stuff to work with. this bulkhead here in front will have to change because I've changed the shape of the opening. The other airplane didn't have a cowl opening. But that's all right. No big deal. Would have been better to come out right even with that, but that's not how the motor works. I guess what I'm going to have to do, if you'll notice here, their bulkhead came out in front of the exhaust port opening. So obviously we can't have a bulkhead here if the motor is going to be sitting there, because the motor's set back 3/4 of an inch. As I stated yesterday, that's what the plans call for. So that bulkhead is sitting there. So we're going to change that first bulkhead to just be a modern type bulkhead that's only a 1/2 inch between the engine bearers. Not a big deal. All right, so the fuselage is laid out. Let's see what these weigh. Remember, we're trying to keep this airplane under 40 ounces. Already we're 0.9. So let's go with grams. 26 grams. Of course, we'll lose some of that in sanding. Now the longerons that it calls for go from F3, which is, let's see, yep, F3. So we did this right, good. F3. F3, and it looks like they've cut those at an angle there to go to the trailing edge. I see. So it goes from F3, which is here, here, start tapering up. I guess whoever, well, we know who designed it, but I guess they were thinking about eliminating as much weight as possible, and knowing Bob Hunt, he's done some little tricks here. Now this is the belting. This line here is the belting at the elevator. Now you don't think that's much, but he's taken off a 1/4 inch plus an 1/8 inch in this line here, and it's all the way back at the elevator. So even a few grains back there taking off makes a substantial difference. So we're going to cut them just like they're designed. I put 2 together so they're both the same. Cut down through there. It's like I said, it's only wood. It's not, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is inside the airplane. But you want your airplane to look as good as it on the inside as it does on the outside. And I think it was Tom Morris who said, yeah, I seen him stay on the inside of a wingtip for an hour. Boy, that was exciting stuff. Yeah. All right. So we've lost a little bit back there, and that's right on the elevator or the stabilizer. So these two pieces go right here, and we're trying to make this as monocoque as possible. So you want to put that exactly on that line so that when this bulkhead's put in, it locks that in place. So let's see what the bottom ones look like. These are tops. That's the top. And the bottom ones, they're exactly the same. They go from F3. Yep, they're exactly the same. So I should have cut 4 the same, but not a big deal. They're just reversed. Somebody's keeping in mind to keep the back half light. Well, don't have any dancing girls, don't have any music. I don't know how exciting this is going to be, but hey, my cockpit floor. No, that's not. 2 pieces, 1/8 inch. Oh well. Might have to use that because I don't have any quarter. Okay, these are bottoms. Now you wonder, why am I putting longerons in there? Well, when this is done, the fuselage will be sanded oval, and you need enough material that these will be showing from the outside. It'll be sanded into this way. And the same with the top, because there's no shape. Now, I might mold the top of this. I don't know. I do have some really good block material, but I want to use that on the wingtips. Wingtips are just about impossible to mold. I know Ron Burns did show how to do it, but man, I don't know that I want to put that much work into something. I just don't know if I want to put that much work into something. Now, I also sand the insides of my airplanes out. So this is a trick that Ron taught me, that when you get the fuselage together and you get the outside shape, you want to cut off the top block and the bottom block and glue sandpaper on your fingertips and get inside and sand the inside out so that you have just an eggshell. An eggshell is stronger, or an egg shape is stronger than a box or any other type structure, because it's all pushing evenly on each other. I think I'm going to try, even though I don't have Aerogloss paint, I'm going to try to finish it the way that they did back in the 50s and 60s. That picture that's on the outer zone is, I probably should put it on this video. He has, the description has the characters stated wrong. Ron is not in the center. He's off to the far right, kneeling. I have a Bob Giesky, I think that's how you say it, Giesky elevator stabilizer. And I had a Bob Tucker Nobler wing for the longest time. I finally threw it out. You can only have so much crap around your place. You know, stuff that you're never going to use. Now, the Giesky elevator stabilizer, it's hanging on the wall. And it's surprisingly well done. Inside, it's the ribs are built up. The elevator is a built-up structure. It's not just, you know, slabs. It's kind of cool. So anyway, we got our first parts of the kit done. We've got the fuselage side. Let's do the we're gonna do the formers. So I'm gonna have to put the plan on the chair because I can't cut on the set of plans. I'll mark from the chair and cut from the table here. We're going to use modern day stuff in it, carbon fiber push rod horns. I probably will not use ball links because there's not a whole lot of room back there. We'll use 3/32 music wire ends on them. First former. F7. F7. Now you have to measure with these from the widest part. You can't measure it from the narrowest part. And we'll have to notch those pieces in. It's F6. Looks like we're going to have about enough time to get the fuselage parts cut, the formers cut, and then I'll do 15 minutes questions. I held it over too long last night for questions, and please keep your questions to the build. Last night it turned into a hangout. Rusty's the hangout guy. Uh-oh, I hear my neighbor starting to wind up with the guitar practice. I have to cut that short. F5. So F4 is cut into two separate places, but you want to take the widest one. F4A and F4B. take the widest spot because we can always add or subtract. It's hard to add. My neighbor could play a song, it'd be nice. All I hear is thump, 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 thump. F4. I don't know how much I'm going to put up with that. F4. F3, and the other two are plywood. So F4, we're going to do 3. Three and 3A. Hope you guys can't hear that. Thump, 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 thump. Kind of sound like a car going down the road. Boop, boop, boop. F, we're going to do this. F3, F3A. All right, that's all the formers. Let's trim them up so that they're in the right configuration. Now these notches here, F7, these notches here are for the longerons. So we're going to cut this right here. Now, I can't remember where I saw it, but I don't have one here. Walmart sells a dressmaker's ruler, a seamstress ruler. It's see-through. It's for stitches. It works real good for finding center of things. I'm going to have to get one at Walmart next time I go. Okay, there's the length on F7. F6 is right there. F5. Sure wish I knew how to do CAD. I mean, I can do this simple stuff, but the complicated stuff, no can do. So this first one, the top one, is this height, F4. Let's do it in the right configuration. F4 this way. F4. Cut here. To me, you know, a lot of guys don't like scratch building, but I like scratch building because I get to choose the wood I want. It's kind of relaxing. That way you can say that you actually did make the airplane. You didn't assemble somebody else's kit. F4A. F4A. So we got F3. Let me throw these out. F5, F4. Yeah, that's F4A, so that gets this cracked. F3. F3 is this tall. About 10 minutes, we'll open it up to questions, but I'm not gonna hold a hangout. So if you have a question, ask it, but we're not gonna hang out. So because I have to teach Rusty how to use the software tonight at 9:40. Okay, this is F3A. F3A. So let's see, we got all the parts here. What happened to my top piece? There we go. F3A, F4A, F5, F6, and F7. Now I have to get those notches in there. We're going to use the Longeron to do that. I'm just going to mark them. I'm not going to cut them. I'm going to sand them in. And I don't have a sanding block set up to do that tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. Now, as far as the building goes, probably not going to do an hour a day on the weekends because I got my other projects going on. Still got to go over to John's house and paint my airplane. I was going to do it today at work, but it was just so humid. It was 67%. I shot a coat of clear without any retarder on the thing, and it didn't like that. It did not like that. So this is the right width, but that mark there. I'll just wait on that. I'll make up the notching tool, and how I make a notching tool is a piece of 1/8" light ply, 1/2 inch wide with sticky back sandpaper on it, and I'll sand those notches in there. That way they're perfect. So I think that'll probably conclude tonight's part cutout. So we basically got the fuselage sides. We have the motor mounts yet to hammer out. I got one cut. Here again on the motor mounts, I've changed this because we're running a modern Schnurly engine as opposed to a Fox 35. The motor mount they have stops just behind F2. It doesn't touch the wing. So we're going to take our motor mount and run it all the way back to F3, and the top of this mount will touch the top of this wing. So we're transferring the engine vibration to the wing. Now you don't think that's a lot, but it is. It's a lot. I'm also going to, it looks to me that these engine bearers on this particular airplane run into the fuselage. I'm going to sand a curve in that nose so that I can pull the fuselage together, and the transition between balsa wood and hardwood doesn't show. You know, that'll be clear. That'll be clear when I do it. So I've got a 1 engine burner cut. I cut it with a saw. It was ridiculous. So I'll wait till I go over to John's house to cut the other one. John milled this wood on his table saw. So we'll cut that off at John's. So let's see what the fuselage weighs. Now you think, well, why is it weighing all that stuff? Well, I want to keep kind of a track of what's going on. I don't want this fuselage to weigh, but 5 ounces when it's done, if that. 89. 3 ounces. So it will be a 5-ounce fuselage. That'll take a little bit off. So 2.5. So I might have to mold the top and bottom yet anyway. I don't know. I think tomorrow night, because I don't have a saw here, we'll cut the rudder and elevator stabilizer tomorrow night. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open it up for questions. I got 11 watchers. Oh, I got somebody on here. Rusty's ready. Okay, Rusty, I will open this chat up here, and I'm going to answer the questions if anybody has any. So we're going to go here. Copy. You go to the chat box. I'm not going to go into StudHanger and paste. Enter, go to the chat box, hit the link. Come on in, ask a question. And we'll wrap this hour up, and I'll give Rusty his lesson on how to get the stream started for tomorrow night. It's in the chat box. Hi, Jack. How's it going? Click on the link in the chat box. You can come in, ask me a question, and I'm going to shut this down after that. We're not going to have a hangout like we kind of did last time. And if I don't get any takers in 5 minutes, that will be the hour that I promised. And the bench will sit exactly like that till tomorrow night. I will probably run the building hour at 8 o'clock, just like I've been doing, and then at 9:40, Rusty takes over, and he does the Friday night hangout. Click the link. We got somebody coming now. Let's see who this is. It's Rusty. Rusty, turn off your YouTube viewer. To get your YouTube viewer shut off?
Yeah.
Okay, I have figured out how to make it work just as YouTube. You got a window open. Rusty, turn off your YouTube viewer.
YouTube viewer is off.
Well, we got feedback, something fierce. It's not bad now. It must have been a reverb.
It could have been. It was probably me the first time. I'm logged into my YouTube channel. Do you want me to log into the Stunt Hanger YouTube channel before we get started?
No, we'll start a new meeting. I will PM you the Jitsi so we can talk back and forth, and I'll walk you through it on a private session.
Okay.
All
You
right.
got-
What?
You got some guys about to ask you questions now?
I do.
Okay. I'll come back in a few minutes then.
Well, hang on. Don't go away.
Okay.
I don't see any questions coming. Who is this? This is just a fellow gister. I don't know who that is. So we'll go 5 minutes. No questions. I'll shut her down. And I'm going to send you the link to the Jitsi that we're going to start for a private meeting in Stunt Hanger and a private message.
Okay.
All right, guys, I ran this an hour, just as I stated. I got 6 likes, 35 playbacks already, so that's good. I'll show you how to make it work just like YouTube. Present, how to present to everybody and all that.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to end this stream. I thank you for joining me for my Tucker special 1 hour a day. And we'll see you tomorrow night, about 8 o'clock, and then Rusty will take over at 9:40. So till I see you tomorrow, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.